who had spent years saying, believe all women, protect trans kids, and lift up marginalized black voices have been drying up. The endless parade of straight, rich, famous people turning queer, minority, and victim struggles into their personal branding moment for oppression points has died down. Corporations aren't pandering as branding moment for oppression, minority, and victim struggle.
Gaining male privilege after transitioning is deserving. No, you probably didn't. This might be like in the whole like shitty Hollywood world that you're in, but like, yeah, if you transitioned and then started doing some blue collar shit, they'd haze the fuck out of you, guaranteed. And I guarantee you wouldn't stand up for it. Well, you wouldn't stand up for yourself, and you'd probably just, you know, die.
Into their personal branding moment for oppression points has died down. Corporations aren't pandering as much to minorities and queer people, even though I hate that word. And I can see why. Performative activism is not only making people look dumb, it's actively hurting those who they claim to be fighting for. The allyship industrial complex is collapsing under the weight of its own hypocrisy, grift, lies, and weaponized victimhood. Celebrities are coming out in favor of Republicans.
Trump has always been known, like before people was hating on him, like, he would be at all the events with, like, Russell Simmons, but when he got political, that's when, you know, people start putting...
Huh. You know, I forgot about that, but yeah, he did do that. And, like, back in the day, people loved him. Yeah, that's crazy.
The racist jacket
it's all propaganda.
I honestly don't think he's racist.
Honestly, I think we're about to watch performative activism flatline in real time. Welcome to another psychological deep dive. If you are new, click that subscribe button. I am one of the only lesbians on YouTube that calls out the bullshit from both sides, but currently I lean right. Now,
it's funny because there's like two. I think I've seen two. Her and some other one or whatever. And I just think it's funny that more and more people are starting to wake up to this shit. And it's people that are supposedly to be helped by these groups. Let's just say.
Before we get into the death of it all, I want to start talking about the birth. Liam on X nailed it. He said, number one, safe spaces. 2010 to 2015, disagreement was framed as harm and individuals were offered protection. Number two, cancel culture started to come along around 2015, 2020, and it would ruin the lives or try to ruin the lives of anybody with harmful ideas. Number three, censorship. This was the Joe Biden era. From 2020 to 2022, and I can say this as somebody that was blacklisted on pretty much every social networking site, people with dangerous and harmful opinions
about to say, you remember that? It's like, you remember that? It's like all of a sudden they just started banning everyone from like everywhere if you just didn't agree with them. I remember that.
Misinformation were systematically silenced. And yes, that is a very real thing that happened. Don't let people tell you otherwise. I experienced it myself. Number four, structural exile. 2022 to 2024, we had frozen bank accounts. We had people being jailed for social media posts, maybe not in the United States, but definitely in other places across the world. Credentials.
It's always England. They're garbage. I wonder what happened to them. They used to own almost two, damn near quarter, damn near 2 quarters of the entire planet, and now all of a sudden it's just, those reeds a bit wet, isn't it? Crazy.
Being erased from professional life. Number five, this is a big one. Direct violence normalized, like actual violence, not words of violence bullshit from far leftists. From 2025 to today, he writes, ever since Charlie Kirk's assassination, the collective leftist psyche has fully accepted that death is acceptable if someone is branded a fascist or far right. Now, because of all of this, naturally people began to be afraid of being canceled, afraid of being followed, harassed, or unfortunately in Charlie's case, killed. So people began speaking up in favor of these crazy leftists, even if they didn't fully understand the conversation that was happening. Back in 2015, straight people...
Passion is political. That's fucking hilarious. Look, if you can't turn your brain off to just like not give a shit and not do all this extra bullshit when it comes to this stuff, like, done. We're done. Like, I'm done with you, bro.
People started speaking for gay people because the word queer had become like the perfect loophole for anyone to insert themselves into the conversation if they just had blue hair and a nose ring without actually being, homosexual. 2020 was the George Floyd riots. White people started feeling incredibly guilty. They first stated, listen and amplify black voices, but very quickly.
Hold on. Y'all remember this? Like, you remember this? How fucking weird this was?
They first stated, listen and amplify Black voices, but very quickly soon after began speaking for Black people.
It seems like there's a lack of diversity here today, that it's mostly people who look like you and I, and I just
It is not for Black people, for people of color to get out on the street. They're at risk when they do that. If anybody's going to get arrested here, it's going to be a Black person. It is not safe for them, and they don't need to participate. We need to walk in their name.
And this is still continuing to the current day. Soon after, during COVID, people got really bored in their houses and started identifying as ice cream trucks and began speaking for actual trans people. For a while there, like, some of the minorities were okay with it. They probably thought, like, wow, we're finally being heard. People are speaking out in favor of us. They're doing their best to help. Corporate rainbow branding was literally all over the place during Pride Month. If you didn't put up a black square on Instagram, your brand was canceled. But then people began realizing that a lot of this was superficial because the Pride logos were...
I feel like I missed that black square part because I saw it once and then never again, and it didn't make any sense to me.
Were everywhere in the United States, in countries that it was legal, except in the Middle East. That these brands were prioritizing self-image over meaningful actual change. And understandably so, a lot of it was for profit, or at the very least, ally points, which in their...
I don't know why people were so like, I can't believe they're doing this for profit. I'm like, yeah, duh. Like, what? They're only going to respond to what makes the money. If this is going to make the money, this is what they're going to do. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why this is crazy or strange.
Their heads was going to get them more money, which wound up happening for the most part. The thing is, performative activism winds up eroding trust. It's diluting genuine efforts, and it's signaling the death of hollow activism in favor of authentic advocacy. Then shit started to go sour, and here's why that's all happening. Number one, the shifting of goalposts. Woke
I want to see. I kind of want to see that video. Well, I wonder what he was talking about. I didn't get a chance to see it.
activists who do mostly nothing other than, campaign online, and they began canceling celebrities over not being perfect. Anyone who didn't constantly follow the ever-changing woke Bible was ready for a downfall. The goalposts kept shifting, and people began realizing that eventually something you do or don't do is not going to be enough. You're going to get Lizzo wanting to lose weight for her own health canceled.
That was insane. That was insane, actually. I like, what was it? Her, Adele, and I think there was one other. What's her name? Rebel Wilson or whatever. Yeah, just lost a little bit of weight. Oh my God, people went fucking insane.
J.K. Rowling labeled a transphobe for standing up for women's rights, canceled. Number two,
Crazy.
oversimplification. Most of these performative actions are also oversimplifying these very complex issues like trans rights or intersectional discrimination. This actually winds up bringing real progress to a halt, and we start focusing on bullshit. This surface level trash also discourages deep education and leads to interactions, which I've been experiencing a lot lately, like this. Asking questions is instigating.
Wow. The way you ask them, the way you frame them, yes,
That's
it's
a fascist
instigating.
ideology right there.
She called me a fascist. Do you think that I'm a fascist because I support President Trump? I don't believe everything he does. Do you think that I'm a fascist for
I
that
think
reason?
Donald Trump is a fascist.
People can't even define fascism. They can't name even one right that we've lost under Trump. People get lazy, they make blanket statements, and it causes even more division. Number three, it is no longer making any sense. Public figures voicing support selectively for personal gain, allies dominating queer discussions or events, or completely sidelining actual LGBT voices. Like,
Hey, did y'all hear about if I can find it, that new acronym that they have for the LGBT, and it was some really, really long something acronym in Canada. Yeah, hold on. I want to see. No, it wasn't that. Oh, it was this one. For Newsweek, we're gonna bring that over here real quick. What is MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA plus? Oh fuck, Jesus Christ. Okay, but what does it mean though? That's what I don't want to read all this fucking shit. I don't really give a fuck. What does it mean though? I'm going to genocide. Blah 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 blah. I don't care. But like, what is it? What does it mean? Is there maybe I missed it because I'm kind of like going through it. Yeah, but can they like say what it is? Because like the entire thing, I don't know what the entire thing is. That's the issue. I don't know what the entire thing is. Well, that's a very big. Oh wait, missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit. Okay. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual people. Cool. I don't give a single fuck.
Myself, think Pedro Pascal wearing a protected doll shirt, or white people saying that voter ID is racist. Meanwhile, they go up in the hood and prove them completely wrong.
Black people, their thoughts on what you just heard.
It's funny, I did a video about this not too long ago.
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID.
Here's a few posts on X. Leftists went from Me Too to supporting the Islamic Republic. Somebody else said, Charlie Kirk dies for speaking. Leftists, good, he deserved it. The Ayatollah dies for taking 10 million lives, over 10 million lives since 1979. Leftists, you can't just kill people you don't like. White people recently standing for Iran when actual Iranians were saying things like this. I'm Iranian. People who have never lived under oppression, have never had to fight for their freedom of their country, are trying to tell me what is better for my country. That honestly makes me laugh. Open your eyes and watch Iranians literally crying tears of happiness. Stop acting like you were the only people in the world who understand. Stop being racist. Saying that nobody...
They have to be racist. They have to do this for some reason. Personally, I think they get off to it sexually. There's literally no other thing I can think of as to why they would do this. I don't understand why or how you can just look at something and then objectively be incorrect about it and then go about your day like you were correct. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Is illegal on stolen land when the actual natives of that land contacted you about, taking your house, you completely ignored them.
No one is illegal on stolen land.
So brave. So brave. She said the thing. Not a thought between those fucking eyes, bro. Shut the fuck up.
My friend James actually perfectly explains this issue. In this X post, he explains how the phrase "nobody is illegal on stolen land" is actually a prime example of Chinese communism. It's political sloganeering known as TIFA. He says TIFA functions as a carefully engineered watchword, short, memorable phrases designed to hijack critical thinking through mystification, which presents falsehoods as obvious truths. Think the trans women are women mantra. Nobody is illegal on stolen land mixes up basic human dignity with legal citizenship, which calls the nation's land stolen to undermine its entire legitimacy, and ties personal legality to the country's overall right to exist, which is basically a white people. It's designed to frame debates so disagreements seem morally inexcusable. These tricks trap critics in lose-lose situations, forcing them to either sound heartless for defending immigration laws or waste time debating history on emotional ground that makes them seem reactionary and only boosts the slogan's power. Boom. I mean, those weren't his exact words. I basically kind of summarized it. Also, it's completely natural to have borders. This happens in literally every single species on the planet. Number 4, people are realizing...
Brother, not even that. It's just fucking every place on the planet has borders. And it's crazy because, the Great Wall of China is a border, right? You do understand that is, in fact, a border. And it was used for a specific reason, right? This whole thing that no one is doing that doesn't make any sense to me. But okay, cool.
That a lot of these activists that they're fighting for, performatively most of the time, but still fighting for publicly, are actually creepy as fuck, or actual racist, or actually sexist. A top transgender Reddit moderator has deleted his account after being exposed as a convicted child offender. Remember the Gavin Newsom clip of him saying,
I don't know how to feel about this as a black person myself. It's I saw this and I was just like, there's so many different things that you could have done. There's so many different things that you could have said. But for some reason, you went with that. Motherfucker, why? Motherfucker, why? Why would you do this? Why would you say that?
It's like you. I scored really low on my SATs too. Nicki Minaj said his way of bonding with black people is to tell them how stupid he is and that he can't read. This means my first read on him was correct. He's been handed so many things and put in high positions he never earned or deserved. Ooh, and many of them are just plain hypocrites.
I'm also a part of marginalized groups that have been historically oppressed, and it's keep on raising awareness and slaying. I hope that we reach more equity soon.
We actually have a equity commitment form. You can actually give up your spot at university for a member of the Tongva tribe. Is this something that you'd be willing to do for this underrepresented, underprivileged community?
Honestly, no, but I hope somebody else does. That's great.
Not currently. I would need to think about it more.
I personally don't view myself as privileged. I don't think I would be willing to give up my spot at UCLA. I think that
Oh, you're in UCLA. No wonder. You know how much money it takes to go there? Also, I don't know why you would. Like, after everything that just kind of gone on. But, like, look, if I was even more retarded than I was now, I would probably go there. Like, every time I think, oh, I missed out. I didn't get a chance to go to college. I see shit like this, and I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't go. I ain't missed shit. Now I can be stupid faster.
ethnicity's representation is also important. I'm a Black student.
Who should we find to give up their spot?
That's a tough question. Anybody that is willing and feels that they're represented in the right way here.
And a lot of this is fantasy world for these people. Like, not one
God.
that...
I don't think she wanted to say it because she didn't want to be rude, but I guarantee you, if I went up to her as a Black man myself and was like, who do you think should be going? I know for a fact. And let's be real here.
It's actually existing currently in reality.
It seems to me liberal progressives live in a complete fantasy world in which they tell themselves that the world is as they want it to be. Their whole way of thinking is a set of ideals which don't correspond to reality. And when they don't correspond to reality, they get vicious and they start attacking people and causes which get in the way of their fantasy.
Number 5, the reason people are leaving performative activism behind is because it is directly affecting them now, or at least starting to. People with they, them in their bios were not getting hired. People, again, are being called out on their bullshit. Billie Eilish with the situation with the natives in her mansion. Nearly 40% of Americans say homosexuality is morally wrong. We were fine 10 years ago, so what has changed? The TQ+.
Bro, that's what I was saying. Bro, years ago, many moons ago, no one gave a shit. Literally no one gave a shit. It was like, yeah, sure, fine. And then got a little too invasive. And then it got a little too invasive after that and got even more invasive. And, well, yeah, now her face says it all. Now we're here.
Not actual transsexual people, but, the woke TQ+. I, as a lesbian, even took the little, rainbow flag out of my bios. Listen to what this guy has to say about Democrats and performative activism.
You used to be Democrat, then you had a kid. I mean, look.
Joe?
Everyone's Democrat, everyone's liberal until something happens to make you grow the fuck up. This is why these leftists in Minnesota are acting like children. They're lacking the maturity to understand what they're doing, what they're fighting for, what the stakes actually are. People really don't have the defining moment that makes them liberal. You're a liberal, and then you realize, like, oh, we have a responsibility to our nation, to our people, to our culture. This is why they're acting so insane and so.
You wanna know what's crazy? This dude isn't even from America, bro. He's from across the pond, bro. Homeboy's from like UK, Europe area or whatever. Honestly, I feel bad for the guy for being over there. So hopefully he's getting over here and won't have to deal with what's going on over there.
Savage. So
at least he's not in Ireland, right?
Savagely is because they're still immature. They're still acting like children. See, this is the problem as well. It's like, as a mature person, it is almost impossible to argue with an immature person, which is where this issue is arising. We're not on equal footing here. We're not of equally sound mind. We're not of equal intellect here.
And a lot of people are saying enough with this bullshit. They're speaking out.
Like, I mean, the enrollment rates are declining because you guys are pushing all this woke LGBTQ whatever nonsense on the kids so that people can groom them and rape them, and that's all it's about.
Jillian Michaels recently has become...
I like how she said it, didn't even look at the camera. It was just like, yeah, this is just how it is. I mean, is she wrong? No. Like, is she wrong?
Under fire, and she's a lesbian.
I didn't really pay attention to this. I didn't actually see it until they started using the whole, like, the gay rights thing. When they started making that a Trojan horse, that's when I was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Sit back the down. We are not transing kids. This is not going to happen, and you're certainly not going to ride the coattails of those of us that fought for this. And the reality is it took a long time.
On X, she said, stop blaming gay rights for the radical trans kids agenda. The push to involve children in gender ideology is neither normal nor widely agreed upon. Also true. The majority of us are normal gays. We don't want anything to do with this. We did not sign up for this. Efforts to link this issue to the fight for gay rights.
Unfortunately, you guys, it's funny because I say you guys, but I'm also a part of this. But you guys didn't cut them off when people were raising the flags back in 2015. And so now you are defined by it. So they got too loud and you guys got too complacent, and complacency breeds weakness. And now we're here. So, but you know, at least we're here. So you know what I'm saying? At least we're here.
To blur critical distinctions and unfairly associate people with a cause they never supported. Gavin Newsom is even under fire recently because he no longer agrees with Democrats on transgenderism in sports. Florida has become the first state in the nation requiring mandatory instruction on the history of communism starting this coming year. Or I think it started this year, actually. Or maybe next year. I think it's next year. Reality is even making a comeback all the way up to the Supreme Court because this recently just happened. Listen to Justice Samuel Alito versus an ACLU lawyer.
For equal protection purposes, what does it mean to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman?
Sorry, I misunderstood your question. I think that the underlying enactment, whatever it was, the policy, the law, would have to.
This is probably the most androgynous person I have ever seen in my entire life. Look, not even trying to correct us, but are we see this, right? We're seeing this, right? This is probably the most androgynous looking person I've ever seen. This is actually insane.
We'd have to have an understanding of how the state or the government was just understanding that term to figure out whether or not someone was excluded. We do not have a definition for the court. And we don't take issue with we're not disputing the definition here. What we're saying is that the way it applies in practice is to exclude birth sex males categorically from women's teams, and that there's a subset of those birth sex males where it doesn't make sense to do so according to the state's own interest.
Well, how can a court determine whether there's discrimination on the basis of sex without knowing what sex means for equal protection purposes?
Another one, listen to Representative Hageman.
The fact is...
Also, I forgot, that's a lawyer? You're a lawyer?
That all you need to do to determine sex is a cheek swab. If you're an XX or an XY, you're either a boy or a girl. It's that simple. This isn't complicated. It's not like we haven't known what women and men were for not just a matter of years, but decades and centuries and thousands of years before that. The fact that we're having this conversation and this debate just absolutely epitomizes the left's ongoing effort to rewrite the English language in order to change the debate and destroy civil order. Cisgender is a made-up word. Cisgender that means...
Yeah, but technically all words are made up, so...
nothing.
I don't know.
Do not call me cisgender. I am a woman. This gentleman sitting next to me, he is a man.
Let me know what you guys think.
Did you just assume her gender?
Do you think that performative activism or queer and minority allyship is dying? Do you think it's just getting started? Let me know.
It's dying. It should have been dead. I kind of hate it because I noticed this in the black community as well, and that's why I can't remove myself from the black community because it's not I have skin. But when I saw them doing that shit, I was just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. And now with this, let's see this. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I got shit I gotta do, and I can't do it if I perpetually a victim. So.
In the comments, if you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. And if you guys want to see more content that I've never posted on this YouTube page, go and check out me on Facebook. I'll have the link in the description below. Other than that, I will see you guys back here in a few days with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Keep calling out.
That's crazy.
The bullshit.
That's crazy. Look at Facebook. Good lord. Yeah, but go give her a follow and all that good stuff. I'll put that stuff down in the description of the video.